Hey guys, it's Serge. Let's talk about Twitter today. Got a lot of questions on Twitter, not surprisingly, since last week's post earnings disaster in the stock. Look at Twitter, look at Yelp, look at some other names like that that all took about a 20 to 25% haircut post earnings last week. That's a little bit scary, but I do want to talk about Twitter a little bit more specific and see what's exactly happening here. So if you look at the chart, you can see we obviously had a really massive move lower post earnings. I think, and with this something we can argue, with fundamentalists on the stock, that the actual velocity of the drop in the stock actually had more to do with the dynamics in which the earnings were released, i.e., the earnings leak. Remember, the stock actually got leaked out, but the earnings got leaked out about 45 minutes before they were actually supposed to come out, i.e., 45 minutes before the close of trading uh, on that fateful day last week. So it's a stock that is sort of, caught a lot of people up by surprise. I saw a whole lot of funds liquidate out of speculative positions on that day. So it shouldn't be all that surprising that the stock is reacting that way. Now, that's not to say the fundamentals are good. The growth rate certainly isn't what it could be. So, it may be a bit of a mix, but I don't think it's just the fundamental story that's at work here, which is giving me some more reasons to look at this from a more sort of technical and structural perspective. So every time you see a sharp drop like this, there's a couple of things I like to look for. First of all, in terms of oversold and overbought areas, I like to look at something like the 8 and 21 day simple moving average. They're just simple moving average I think work fairly well. And you can see you got the 21 here in yellow, the 8 in blue. And basically every time the stock gets extended above or below those moving averages, it's time for the stock to slow down or bounce up or down in either direction back to this moving average. In this case, the stock started slowing down. What we're seeing though, is increasing as stocks coming back into this area. Let's call it between 35 and 37, where there's a lot of sort of price history, a lot of price action from the latter part of last year. And I do think there's a pretty good chance of a bounce happening. Maybe it'll be in the back of a better earnings analyst upgrade, or Icon comes out, or who knows. Something could happen here. I think it'll be more of a news-related bounce rather than something that all of a sudden people get bullish on it from a fundamental perspective on their own, right? It's really the case in a stock like this. So the stock is now, the moving average have caught up, which is to say the stock has settled down a little bit after that dramatic post-earnings move. The stock also, and you can kind of count this, really closely or just kind of give it an estimate, but basically the stock has now dropped, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 days in a row. I know there's one of those days was an inside day, so it wasn't technically a down day, but roughly 7 or 8 days, the stock really hasn't had any real bounce, right? And so the longer this persists, this slow move lower like that, the better the odds are of ultimately a surprise move to the upside, right? Which would look, I'm just going to paint this in, which would look something like this, or we get a flush and then this move comes. Either way, if you are involved in the stock, and I'm in full disclosure, I'm long the stock here with a manageable position, and we're down in the position obviously, but it's a manageable size position. So I would either look to buy it on a sharp sell-off, so you buy into a complete capitulation, or on the next bullish reversal time, I'd actually be looking to adding to the position and kind of trade around the current position that I have. So that's a look at Twitter. I hope this makes sense, guys. Please do like this video. If you got any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter handle is SteadyTrader. Otherwise, you can go to thesteadytrader.com and see what we're doing over there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.